All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo Ancient Hebrew, and to Yahweh Shai, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, his name in Paleo Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutation to you, few brothers and sisters that are hopeful elect that may hear this. It's the brother Ariaga from the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp here with another nifty lesson. Let's get into it. So, been a lot of racial divide taking place between Negroes and natives, or Negroes and Latinos. I'm a California native, and when I was growing up, I grew up in the black side of the hood, and then another part of my life, I grew up in the barrio. And so, one of the biggest things that you see is that racial divide. My bad, yes, it's the goddamn ice cream truck. It just decided to bring this expensive, raggedy ass truck past. Anyway, excuse that. Nonetheless, so the situation is getting real fierce now. You know, because this propaganda is trying to bring an even greater divide between so-called natives, Latinos, and Negroes due to this to these rights. All right, and this is why the Most High set everything up to take place the way it did. Because honestly and truthfully, you know, the way everything is set forth was for the so-called black man or the southern tribes of Judah, Benjamin and Levi. That's why the Most High kept them in a special place, and the tribe of Judah is also the same tribe that the Lord comes from. So it's very honorable. But the situation that's happening and the propaganda that's feeding into it, these few situations that I'm about to play for you, it's a lot of underhanded shit because, like I said, when I was growing up, I'm gonna be honest, so-called blacks was always, for the most part, I would say, more inclusive when it comes to, it could be Latinos, natives, so-called blacks, white. As long as you came with the right spirit, it was no issues. You know what I'm saying? Like Judah might joke around and talk a little shit here and there, but for the most part, they included the rest of the tribes. They lovingly brought them in. And what I found out was because of the color of my skin, right? Um, a lot of the natives, a lot of the Latinos would talk shit. Call you pinche mayate, negrito, moreno, pinche moreno. Just different things. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. And in return, Judah would talk their shit the way they did and what have you. And I'm not saying that, the Latinos were the only racist ones, but I know that Negroes was racist in their own terms against them, but they were more inclusive. They included them. They embraced them. Latinos and natives more. But what happened so far as natives and Latinos is they let Esau and that propaganda get in between them. And Esau basically loves to see us go at each other's necks because really, we are one race. Negroes, Latinos, and natives are one single race, Israelites. Okay. But, we're so diverse that we can be broken down and so many in number because the Lord blessed us to be fruitful and multiply that we can be 12 different tribes. And Esau made sure that he played to that and kept us separated because when we come together, like we did in the Watts riots and the LA riots and stuff, let me tell you something, man. Esau had a problem on his hands. And so what you see right now is the exposing of a lot of these racial um, there's a lot of this racial divisiveness between our people. And two-thirds of our people, whether it be so-called blacks, natives, or Latinos, they're gonna find out the hard way. But ultimately, as things get worse and this boiling point really comes down to who's going to receive the mark of the beast and who's not. These race wars come into view because you have a lot of these so-called white militias that are making preparations for these race wars. They're going to ultimately push Judah and Benjamin, or excuse me, they're going to push the so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives together. Okay, ultimately, that's what's going to happen. You know, and these are one of the things that we really look forward to as things get worse. But let me give you a prime example of some of the things that are being said and why it's just feeding into the narrative right now. Let's get it.
Who are working in my company. I'm a black man. I own a company. I hire a Latino. The Latino comes back and complain about the African Americans because the Latino thinks because I'm African, I don't have any relationship with the African American. The Latino comes to me and tell me that you are an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. That African American cannot work. I have Jose, I have Gonzalez, my brothers who know how to work very well. You need to fire the African Americans, and I will bring a lot of hardworking Latinos who work for your company. This is my company as a black man. My company. I was a contractor at Quantico Marine Base in Virginia. A contractor for General Electrics. And the Latino workers that are hired, they are snitching on the African American workers that are hired for me to fire the African Americans so they can bring Latinos to take their place.
Yeah, so what you have right there is this brother, which he's an Israelite too. Because remember, our people are scattered to the four corners of the globe, and he's definitely not a Hamite or what they would call a half African. He's actually from the southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, or Levi. Okay, and I mean, he's just exposing how, you know, unfortunately, these Latinos are coming forward and they're telling them to get rid of the black workers, and they'll bring in some of their own people. Now, we understand the different gifts that was given to each tribe, which I want to point that out. Okay. Um, let's see. One of the things I did want to point out is the different blessings that each one of our tribes have. This is Genesis 49 and 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? And you have, certain individuals from the Latino community asking why blacks aren't helping them. And then you have another half that are actually, a few jakes that are out there helping the Latinos. But then at the same time, they're being blamed for looting. And from the videos I have, and I've seen no so-called black men, black women looting anything. All right, that was all propaganda, and I actually saw what looked like Edomites, so-called white people and Latinos trying to loot, and those other Latinos was getting on their ass like, "No, fuck that. You're not supposed to be doing that. Y'all making us look bad," you know. But it says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh, which is Yahweh shall come, and unto him shall be the gathering of the people. The gathering of the people be, binding his foal upon the vine, and his ass colt onto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes." They talking about Yahweh Shai, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. "His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk." Going all the way back to Revelation 1 and 13, that 1 and 14, where it said the same thing. His eyes shall be red with wine, because the Lord drank wine, and his teeth white with milk, because he spoke the truth, the pure truth. And he saw the rest was good. And he saw that rest was good, and that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulders to bear, and became, excuse me, I'm jumping down too far. Um, Now, what I wanted to show you is Issachar, all right, the tribe of Issachar, so called Mexican. their blessing. Genesis 49 and 14. So a lawgiver would never separate them, will never be separated out of Judah. That's why Judah is the head tribe. Okay. It says for Genesis 49 and 14, this is for Issachar, so called Mexicans. Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens. And an ass is a beast of burden. Okay, an ass is used to plow fields, used to do a lot of heavy work and heavy lifting, right? A donkey. It says, and he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Once again, I tell you the truth. I have done construction work, and yeah, this car is very talented. They are a worker for hire, as it says, became a servant unto tribute. Okay. So when it comes to doing like things like construction and a lot of these harvesting and just different work jobs, nobody's a better worker than so-called Mexicans. But for them to pull that slight shit and old boy exposing them, that was wrong as hell. That was very fucked up. Oh yeah, you can just fire them and well and it offended him, as you can see. Rightfully so. Let's keep going. I got a couple of these little videos for you. That other one with him. Hold on, I got another video with that brother, and he was really going in. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this
For the time that I've been speaking, so many people have been flagging for the life to be taken down. Have I said anything bad about Latinos? I'm just speaking the obvious truth. Latinos don't like to work with black people. Latinos don't like to hire black people. I'm just saying the obvious truth. I'm just saying the obvious truth. Why are they reporting the life? As a matter of fact, if you're a Latino and you don't like what I'm saying, scroll on. I'm here to pass a message to African American men on how they can mobilize themselves to take over the construction industry labor force. So I will recap before I go. Black men in various cities, Miami, New York, start to come together in groups and register labor force companies. Then go to the big companies and get the contracts. You can either get the contracts through hourly pay or one contractual sum. Then if you are 10 of you in the group, you can get a contract, say, for $500,000 to do all the labor in the company. Then you can hire other.
All right, and what he's doing, he's just putting you up on pure game. That's all he's doing. He's putting you up on so-called Negro men. He's putting you up on some real game. But the way that shit popped off and the way it went down, it was foul as hell. You don't go behind it, and then they try to call him racist and stuff when he's just exposing a fact that a lot of people aren't savvy to. Okay, because I would be considered a Latino. Okay, my father's bloodline Afro Latino. So let's keep going. Let's feed it up. Check this out.
You know what this whole protesting thing in LA is showing me? And it's actually showing the world too. Coming from a Hispanic, Puerto Rican and Dominican or whatever, right? Hispanic people, they racist as fuck, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hispanic people racist as shit. Alright, tell you a little story. I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, right? In my family, I'm the only one that got this texture hair, right? Well, not now because, my sister got, her kids Hispanic and black. My kids Hispanic and black. So, but my immediate family, all that, right? The only one that got this texture hair, this texture beard and all that, it's me. Because I'm the only one from my cousins, to my brothers, to my sisters, to my aunts, my uncles, all of them, I was the only one that was Puerto Rican and Dominican. Like, I remember as a kid, like, I love my uncle, but he crazy. But I remember my uncle as a kid telling me, "Oh, like you got that peasy hair and shit like that." Cause everybody in my family got that slick shit, that you know what I'm saying. So I'm always thinking, I'm like, all right, my hair peasy, my hair bad, and that's until I met my wife, and she taught me about hair textures. How some people got three, some people got it was like 3C, 3-4, whatever the fuck she was telling me. But she told me about hair texture and shit like that. Now I be going down memory lane and shit. I'm like, damn, my family really used to be racist as shit. It's not funny because it's not funny, but when you think about it, you're like, yo, they was really out here being racist. And you know what's crazy? It's crazy that it be like older Hispanic people that be the race, like the most racist. Like I remember, like Puerto Ricans got this word that they use called moyo, and that's to describe like that's the derogatory word for black people, like that Hispanics use. They be like, oh, ese es un mollo, blah blah blah, el mollo ese, and then they say another, muy apestoso, whatever the fuck they want to say, right? And I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I ain't really use the word because I thought the word was stupid. Like, it was just, the fuck is a moyo anyway? Like, to me, it was like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, these LA riots just showing me, like, because they've been coming out with people, they've been coming out with people calling cops the N-word. They've been coming out with a video with Shorty talking about some, she ain't even coming to America because it was all so great. It was slightly better than Mexico. Bruh, just if it was slightly better, how about you get your ass back over there then? That's just how I feel at this point, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you do have a point. You come to another country waving your country's flag and saying that this is a shithole place, and then you have a lot of individuals that's like, well, shit, take your ass back to Mexico, but America fucked Mexico up. Who you think paid them cartels? Who you think showed them how to make, the cocaine and all that other shit, man? It's the CIA. Esau fucked up these Latin American countries, dog. So when you talking about why they over here, why they this and that, because this devil went over there and fucked up they shit, destabilized it, and now that it's all fucking destabilized, they come over here because they like, damn, our shit is fucked up. We gotta do something. We can't raise our families over here because these cartels and the gangs and shit. The motherfucker that fueled that the most is so-called white man. All right, but you don't come over here talking that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And you need to stay here. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. This bitch ain't shit. Fuck this place. America's all fucked up and demonic. I never to take that away from it. But you can't be so proud to justify, a place that you left is better than this one because this place is fucked up and wicked. True. But God damn it, that's gonna be the first person or the first responsible person give it. Won't you take your ass back? Like, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of the regardless of what they did to the country and their country, what's going on. You just gotta be cool about how you approach what the fuck you say. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I ought to go into this N-word situation, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, man. Latinos, I grew up in Esau. If you're a Native American, Latino, or Negro, you are a nigga. Okay. I've seen them call Latinos brown niggers and red niggers and Indian niggers, and they call we are the same people. They call us nigga together. So when you hear a Latino using the word nigga and yeah, oh, I'm black and I'm offended. Shut the fuck up, dog. Just shut the fuck up and get out your pussy ass feelings. We are the same fucking people. So when you hear a Latino say, "Oh, well, what's up, nigga? This and that, nigga." All right, no hard R on that. That nigga is a person, place, a fucking noun, a person, place, or a thing. Yes, Latinos and Native Americans can use the word nigga too. Get out of your whole ass feelings with that shit. I'll be so sick of that. This is what these niggas Mexicans say. Look, man, shut the fuck up because we the same people, clown. Boy, I hate that shit. And now it's different when they get to that hard R.
You go to cover, nigga. I'm
They,
fake. Oh, you do, dog.
to be different if they got to that hard R. Boy, nigger, you're a nigger. Like, all right, then we know that you are being racist. That's a racial slur. But if you saying nigga, come on, dog. Esau see us all as niggas, dog. Okay? That is not racist.
You go to cover, nigga. I'm fake. Oh, you do, dog. I'll spit on your plate. I put my dick on your plate, nigga. Fuck your family. Fuck your kids, nigga. I saw this. I can't sleep comfortably because of you.
He be fucking getting a whole fucking plate. He be fucking expecting us to give us a whole fucking shit. That there.
Do you go to Kava?
Yeah, you do, nigga. Yeah, you do. Act like I don't know your fucking face. Stop fucking playing. Fucking talking about, can I get a fucking discount? Can I get a fucking this? Can I get a fucking that? There. Point that shit at him right there. Point that shit out there right there.
He doesn't look like he go to Kava though.
Not after this. Get going to no shit. Hell no. Hell no.
He ain't going to that cover.
What's your favorite thing to order at Kava?
Everything.
Now you saw Jake was interviewing him and he was laughing and shit. And they just all outraged. Yeah, let me clarify some shit. All right, let me quantify some shit. Yes, they pointing this Jake out, this one Jake cop, right? And they getting on his head. You know, I don't know about putting his dick on his plate and all of that, because you know when it's our people, they'll get real disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because that same age old hatred is there between the northern and the southern tribes. Um, but the men of the Lord is tearing that down. We are breaking that down. But what she was getting on was that cop, you know, I guess he used to come to the bodegas and shit that people on always asking for discounts and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that nigga right there, that blah 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 shit. You know what I'm saying? And the people are like, oh, this is just like she was using the hard R. Look.
You go to cover, nigga. I'm fake. Oh, you do, dog. I'll spit on your plate. I put my dick on your plate, nigga. Fuck your family. Fuck your kids, nigga. I saw this. I can't sleep comfortably because of you.
He be fucking getting a whole fucking plate. He be fucking expecting us to give us a whole fucking shit. That there.
Do you go to Kava?
Yeah, you do, nigga. Yeah, you do. Act like I don't know your fucking face. Stop fucking playing. Fucking talking about, can I get a fucking discount? Can I get a fucking this? Can I get a fucking that? There. Point that shit at him right there. Point that shit out there right there.
He doesn't look like he go to Kava though.
Not after this. Get going to no shit. Hell no. Hell no.
He ain't going to that cover.
What's your favorite thing to order at Kava?
Everything.
And they pulled the fuck off. So everybody getting all in their goddamn feelings about this. Oh, it just called a black cop nigger, and all that. Look, man. Native Americans, Latinos, and Negro, we are the same people. I've seen them call Mexicans niggers. I've seen them call you Mexican nigger. I've seen Esau's do the same thing with some natives, dog. Okay, that's a derogatory term built. They primarily use it against Judah, but they use that for each and every one of the tribes. Period. Get the fuck out of your feelings, dog. When you hear a Latino, can Latinos say nigga? Man, shut the fuck up. Motherfucker, you grown as fuck. You're gonna say what the hell you want to. But when the society looks at you like a nigga and you now I can't say it, are you out your goddamn mind? Let me show you something, man. These dumbass motherfuckers. This is Jeremiah 50 and 30. It says, thus saith, I was gonna bring it up on screen, but this is good enough. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. We were oppressed together. Did you Negroes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans not go into captivity around the same time? Matter of fact, the same way they doing it now, they're taking out the Latinos and then they going after the so-called Negroes. Didn't they take the Latinos into slavery first, and then then the natives, then the natives, and then they went on to the so-called Negroes, Western Africa, right? Same shit is playing out as we speak right now. All right. It says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah We're oppressed together. We still are being oppressed together. It's not no different plight. Oh shit, you going through that, and we ain't gonna do this, and we ain't gonna fuck that. We are the same people. I ain't telling you to get your goofy ass out there in them streets and get to walking and talking shit and marching. No. But what the fuck I am saying is we were oppressed and we are still oppressed together because we are the same people. Okay? So get that bullshit out of your head. Oh man, I don't like it when Latinos say nigga. Shut your stupid ass up, nigga. You know? That'd be different if they were just saying nigger. Because I've heard the hard negrito and the hard N and the mayates. That's different. You can tell when somebody is hitting you with a racial slur. You can feel that shit. But then you can hear when they just talking like Jake do. Okay? It says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. None of us are free. We are still in this captivity. Or you thought they were just coming over here because they just wanted some shit to do. Let me go to America where life is easy. Most High is bringing them over here, whether it be for judgment or salvation. From all four corners of the globe, everybody, all our people, regardless of what their skin color is, if you are Israelite, the Lord is bringing you here either for salvation or for judgment. It says their Redeemer, which is Yahweh, is strong, and Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. And this is present day Sodom, Egypt, and Babylon. And he's going to disquiet the inhabitants of this place, ultimately.
History between black Americans and Mexicans in Los Angeles, I'll extend that to Southern California, is not a good history. Mexicans went on an erasure campaign, erasing black people out of their communities for years. I could get deeper in detail. There's history out there. Check this video out.
In other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir. It's the numbers. They come here in the numbers. They build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society.
Hey. And this is a Latino brother bringing this plight into light, okay? And then that brother's going in, yeah, let me tell you something. Hey, it was a time in California, especially, even now, you're not going to find a brother living in East LA, Southgate. You know what I'm saying? That's not happening. That's not happening, dog. Any more than you'll find a large amount of Latinos living in Compton and Inglewoods and Watts. Those were the lines that was brought about because of this devil that constantly intervenes with our people and puts us against each other. He loves to put us against each other. Because as long as we can't recognize who the real enemy is, these Edomites is winning, dog. And it's not going to be forever. All of that is coming to an end. Trust and believe. But the realization of the whole matter is what should be mobilizing it, the minds of the vast majority.
Going to BLM protests in Chicago, who did the Latinos help? So Latinos was targeting black Americans in Chicago, throwing rocks at their cars, setting their cars on fire. You see this? They didn't help the black Americans. They were helping the police. They were helping the police. And their argument would be like, well, the black people was looting and rioting, so was the Latinos. But they targeted Black people that had nothing to do with the protests at all, just riding through those neighborhoods or those areas. You have people on social media sending out videos. Black people, stay out of Cicero. Black people, be careful in Little Village. And mind you, ultimately, this was a protest against police brutality. And while all this was going on, Latinos are unalived at a 6 times higher rate than their white counterparts. And they still decide to side with the police. And not even a year later, Adam Toledo, a Latino kid, one of their very own, in Little Village, was unalived by the police with his hands up. So when it comes to that quote, an enemy of my enemy is a friend of mine, it's not necessarily true.
I mean, look at that right there. Once again, that divide was being fueled. So he said the Latino gangs in Chicago during those protests, were helping the police against the so-called Negroes. Like, man, this shit is ridiculous. There's some real ridiculous shit taking place. But it needs to be heard because it's been like this for a long fucking time since I can remember. And honestly, I've had plenty of Latino and Negro friends. Like, but you will get the older ones in there that talk that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you're from both sides, from black or Latino. They'll be racist and talking that shit, but the younger ones, we be cool as hell for the most part until some pop off, and then it's like being locked up. You gotta ride with your people. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was us against another nation, then that was different. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, that same racial energy is being pushed out to the atmosphere, but it's at the tail end of it right now because ultimately what's going to happen is we're going to be pushed together as a nation to go against this demonic Edomite nation, right? Let's check it out.
Let's talk about the anti-blackness that exists within the Latin American communities. When I went to go talk to them, they said that we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something.
Well, contrary to their belief, we love y'all, and black people don't feel like you owe us anything except common decency and the same respect we give to the Hispanic and Asian community. We know how you talk about us. Why you with that black guy? Your kids are going to be dark. Don't let that beg in my house. We see the hate, but we don't share that same hate for you. Hell, we don't even hate white people. We just don't fuck with racists. If you ask most black people what they want, they'll just say equality and to be left alone. But even when we're minding our own business, we start our own banks, we get our own neighborhoods, we build our own cities, the good old boys come and burn it down. This was Tulsa, this was Rosewood, this was Wilmington. They did it in Chicago. We had to make special books just to drive through our own country. So where can we go for peace? Gone over to Africa. They came to Africa, scooped us up, and brought us here. The large influx of Asians arrived here in the 1800s, Hispanics early 1900s, Polish 1870, Irish 1845, German 1820s, the rest of the world 1800s. Black people been here centuries before any of these groups. And we've been on the front lines of every single war, fighting for a country where every other group hates us. Many Asians and Hispanics move through this country unbothered because they think, because their skin is closer to white, that they have the same privilege and can treat black people the same way white people do. And this is why 40% of the Asian vote and half of the Hispanic vote went to the orange man. But the Hispanic community, you're learning very quickly, and they'll invade Chinatown and Koreatown and Little Japan next. And then you'll see why you perpetuate your anti-blackness, that they hate you just as much as us. As an enabled body adult, it is your choice to have a lack of education to keep you in this ignorance of this all blacks are bad mindset. If you're taught that Malcolm X was just the writer and MLK was just the pastor and slavery wasn't that bad, how could you truly understand the black experience? And now they're banning black education from our schools. Does this not scream 1933? When Black Lives Matter happened back in 2020, there were thousands of people jumping on social media talking about, oh my God, how come no one ever told me about Emmett Till? How come no one ever told me about the Tuskegee Airmen or Henrietta Lacks? That's just American history to us. Once you take the time to learn about the impact that black people had on this country and the world as a whole, your viewpoint on black people will be totally different. If the media constantly told the world that the entire Hispanic experience was this photo, or the entire white experience was school shooters and serial killers, that would be fucked up, right? Well, that's how they've been doing black people for decades. That's not our history. But we're forced to learn about white history, which is mostly wars and seasoned land and racism. Shit, we're about to go to war right now. You can't even become a citizen without learning their history, which is why everybody knows about the Boston Tea Party, the Battle on Bunker Hill, and can sing the Star Spangled Banner, which ironically is also about war. The rockets' red glare and the bombs are bursting in the air. And can't forget racism. No refuge can save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight and gloom of the grave. Like, damn! They even killed us in the anthem and then gaslight us and call us unpatriotic if we don't want to sing it. So yes, we would love the respect of white folks who've been treating us like shit for over 400 years. We would love respect from all other people of color who wasn't dragged here but came here as immigrants at their own free will. Because when you, my fellow Asians, Hispanics, Middle Easterns, Africans, Pacific Islanders, Caribbeans, when you arrived to this cookout, your plate was already made. Black people already fought for your civil rights. We already fought for fair housing. We already fought for freedom. We fought through Jim Crow and being able to sit at the same damn restaurant as white people. We endured the acid being poured in public pools, the lynchings, the burnings, the drownings. The reason you could get a job or health care or an education. Black people fought for it. We didn't start HBCUs because we wanted black universities. They were started because we couldn't get into white universities. And we don't complain when many of your people sit on the sidelines comfortable and quiet. But it is fucked up when you say, why they always protesting and boycotting? All the while, these boycotts are benefiting you too. And now you're realizing it when we sit down and shut the fuck up. It ain't easy when you have to go boots to the ground, is it? Facing a sea of racist cops and ICE officials with shields and guns just itching to use them. Being thrown to the ground and watching your loved ones get round up like animals. It ain't easy seeing your people unjustly thrown in detention centers and your family torn apart, snatching up babysitters and farmers with no due process. And you're lucky it ain't the 60s because they had dogs, ropes, and fire hydrants for us. It ain't easy feeling helpless because the country you love, the country that your people helped build and bled for, hates you. Coming home as a decorated veteran and you have to eat outside or they spit in your food. It ain't easy knowing that you're excluded from the all. When America screams with liberty and justice for all. Well, this has always been the black experience. Always. And that's why when black people see Asians or Hispanics or white people speaking up against the inequalities in America, we always support your views. It's got to be very difficult to step away from a long lineage of hate, knowing that your people, your family, your friends will call you a traitor simply because you fuck with black people. Well, you tell your hating ass family that this country was built on immigrants. So why the fuck are they here?
Mm. Hey, that brother hit the nail on the head. Real shit. And it's fucked up because, like I said, growing up, so-called blacks, you'll see them embrace Latinos more. But then when you go to their houses sometime and their parents don't know you, they will get to talking that shit, boy. Be like, well, why'd you bring him here? Boy, don't let you have a crush on one of their children. Oh no. Oh no. Oh hell no. It's gonna be an issue that require tissues. Why? Because that same stigma has been placed on. It's bad enough that we have it, placed on us by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But then you turn around and you put that shit on each other because you light, bright, and two shades from white. Hey man, this is the Negro wake up call, as they say right now. This is. Why? Because, like you said, we've been going through that type of goofy ass shit, that type of oppression, and we've been oppressed together. Yeah, Esau, hey, he'll give you a little more leeway because spiritually he know Judah, so-called black man, is the head tribe. They know that shit. They know it. And this is why they put even more hatred and disgust into the way they treat all of our tribes, especially the so-called Negro. And then you turn around and a good amount of you do the same shit. Yo, that shit is crazy. But understand, all of this is coming to an end soon. Why? Because the way the Most High have it set up, this is going to actually push us together. Okay? Why? Once again, because we are pressed together and they would not let us go. Isaiah, our captors never let us go. This is Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea, because we are scattered once again to the four corners of the globe. Why? Because our people are fruitful. Whatever we touch now and then, we smashing. We having children, and it's like that to this very day. It says, "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the globe, or from the four corners of the earth." And why is that happening? Because everybody is quick to say that this is the last of days, but then when you point out certain things about it being the last of days, really in their mind, they want this shit to be like, they want it to be like, oh shit, well, it's the last of days and all, but we ain't gonna see the end until, another 30, 40, 50 years type shit. No, no, that shit is dead. Where we are right now, we are at the pinnacle of this thing. Okay, we are at the very end. And it says, Isaiah 11 and 13, the envy also of Ephraim. Now, Ephraim, being so called Puerto Ricans, is the head tribe of the 10 tribes of Israel, all the natives and the Latinos. Judah, being the head tribe of Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. And also, really, when all the tribes come together, when we are together, Judah's still the head tribe. Same tribe that the Lord came from. All right, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart. Oh, excuse me. Yep, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Right now, this is what you still see, the tail end of this, circling the fucking drain. You know, Ephraim and Judah, these the Latinos and Negroes still getting into it. All this shit is coming to an immediate end, because as reality continues to get realer and realer as we get closer and closer to this World War III and this mark of the beast coming out, yo, it's gonna push us together, because them race wars is around the corner, and we will realize that we are one people.
You may not see it on the news, but there are black people among the protesters here in Los Angeles. In fact, in recent days, I've seen a growing number of black people at these marches. Some are Afro-Latinos, some are African Americans with longtime roots in this country, and several have played a leadership role in keeping the protests focused and peaceful in recent days. Some used megaphones to direct marchers throughout the city. Some came to pray. Some didn't want to be photographed for this video. Others willingly spoke up.
So I come down to these things so that I can show support from the black community.
One of the most dramatic moments took place on Thursday when a young black man single-handedly de-escalated a confrontation with National Guard troops when he convinced protesters to keep marching instead of provoking a battle after they were...
Hey, once again, this is why. Spiritually, whether you Latinos or whoever want to give it to Judah or not, yes, that's the head tribe. Single-handedly did that. Esau even understood that, because there's power there. He was able to divert that whole situation. It kind of got real ugly, but he's nah, y'all just keep marching. That's leadership.
Order to disperse. These are some of the images of black and biracial people that I've observed at the protests in the past week. I'm sorry, the video. It doesn't matter. You just keep doing whatever you're doing. Most of the protesters are young, and they are wearing me out with all this marching. But they are not the rioters they've been portrayed to be by Trump and the right-wing media. That's only a tiny fraction of people in a tiny section of downtown LA who are not at all representative of the youth, energy, and diversity of the people here.
That's right. So that's the reality of the situation too. See, propaganda is trying to push it towards another direction, but you see Jake out there helping, man. The majority of Jake say, "Nah, we're gonna sit this one out. Fuck it, that's fine. Hey, you can do whatever you choose because that's 2/3." But you see that you have these other Jakes, that's willing to come in and ride with our people. You know what I'm saying? And keep it kosher out there. They got the megaphone out there spinning and dancing. This is what we do, man. It's what our people do when we coming together. And Esau does not want to see that. And they'll do anything they can to keep us at each other's throats because the longer we are at each other's throats, is more time for them to get all of their ducks in a row because we go without realizing who the true enemy is and start targeting each other. Get the fuck out of here. Trust and believe. All of that is coming to an abrupt end. Okay? And look at this.
The protesters in LA are not the ones that are looting businesses. And if you don't believe me, just watch this and you can hear the protesters telling them to stop it.
Making us look bad. Damn. Now you good.
If you listen closer, you can hear the protesters saying, "We don't do this, you're making us look bad." And towards the end of this video, you see that they emptied out the cash register. But this video, this is going to get a lot less attention than the other narratives that they're pushing. So please help us out to make sure that people know that folks are just trying to exercise their First Amendment right to advocate for their community, advocate for humanity, and to be on the right side of history. But the folks there do not condone this. And I think it's important that people differentiate from folks creating harm and the ones that are there with a mission. But familia, what do you all think about this? And please send this to someone that's talking bad about the protesters. This needs to get out there.
That's right. Hey, what's happening now is that exposure. That's why I'm so glad we have these cameras so we can see, what I'm saying, what's really going on. Okay? Now, mind you, this is what CNN said. Now, check this out.
Full protest. People
Y'all want to know what this reminded me of?
are just chanting death to America, but they seem friendly at the same time. It's utterly bizarre.
What is your message to people who are getting violent?
It's don't get violent. Those are not the people that are coming out to protest immigration. What we've seen, so let me
What
tell
are
you.
violent people doing?
Okay, so last night when I talked to the sheriff, he had told me the situation in Paramount was under control, that the people that were peacefully protests have left. The situation was now across the street into the Compton area.
This is exactly why we got to stay out of it. She just blamed Compton for the actual violence that's happening.
Yeah, and this.
All right. And once again, we know who live in Compton, so-called black people. So when they got to the Compton area, niggas just started looting and shit. Hey, when I was looking at those cats, even though they had masks on, I didn't see no so-called black people.
She just blamed Compton for the actual violence that's happening.
Yeah, and this was the unruly folks, that Saturday night crowd, the people that were there to actually protest immigration were gone. We agree that if you're being violent, you should be arrested. You should be prosecuted. There is no disagreement on that. I think that's a effort that we can all say. Look, this is not what's happening. We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting. And we know that California law enforcement, local law enforcement.
Yeah. So they quick to throw that up about, oh yeah, when they went to Compton, it wasn't the other when it went to Compton, that's when shit started getting no. See, any chance that they can throw dirt on Jake, they will do it. Not knowing now, I had another video. I think this may be. Let me see.
We're a vast minority in this country, so that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. But we are Mexicans, and it's only fair that they recognize us, that they value us as much as anyone else.
As the Black Lives Matter movement around the world seeks change and equality for Black Mexico, the challenge for these communities is still at the point of showing they exist.
I had another one where it was going into the history of, talking about the history of being called Mexican, and they basically was going at, individuals that look like them, Mexicans that look like them. You had to have, it was they basically called them Mexicans if you had a mixture of black blood in you. And so you go back to Mexico, of course they talk down to a lot of the so-called Negroes over here because they do that in Mexico too. This is in Mexico. The largest black continent on the planet is Brazil, South America and Brazil. More black, so-called melanated black people than Africa. Like, come on, dog. Come on. What you gonna say? So, long story short, all of that shit is about to go out the window, because as it continues to get realer and realer, you're gonna start seeing more and more of our people join hands. And Esau is so stupid. I had to get this. Oh wait, hold on. Let me point this out before I do that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna fix this video. They look all tiny and shit. I'm gonna edit that really quick. I want to point something out. It says Second Ezra 16. When all this hell is breaking loose, Second Ezra 16, 40, 45. And therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, said Yahweh. Right? That's like as it says, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman. Hey man, straight up. Okay. So you can go ahead and occupy your houses with all this stolen merchandise and all. The Most High is wroth with you though, and He's gonna get at you, dog. He's gonna get at you like DMX. Get at me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yo, He's going to get at you. So you got a lot of these cats thinking they got away with some shit. Oh, we eluded. We didn't look. Most High has a fucking problem with that. Okay, and you're gonna have cats, going into people's houses and shit like that. It's about this is just a precursor for the things that's about to transpire. And trust and believe when it does fully happen, hey, Our people are going to be joined and unified. It's not going to be any separation and all of this crazy shit anymore. It's not. This is the loud. This is like the tail end of that shit. To be honest with you, we are at the tail end of this whole separation and divide and shit like that. Okay, we are. Let me point something out to you again. One more again. This is Ezekiel 37 and 15. Word of Yahweh came again unto me saying, matter of fact, let me play this first because this shit was funny.
Christ, my hands are cooked. I don't know how much longer I can do this shit anymore.
Bring him back. They gotta bring him back.
Someone ordered a tostada. What the fuck even is that?
I don't know, but I'm still trying to wrap this damn burrito.
Trump, bring him back! How the fuck do I even work this thing?
Yeah, this shit is impossible.
Trump, bring him back!
Yeah, Esau's a lazy devil. Who you think kept this fucking country running? You think Esau gonna get his old ass out in that field and burn the fuck up? Hell no. And guess what? You niggas ain't either. You love eating them damn fruits and them veggies and shit, but guess what? Now Trump got to fucking stop and oh shit, well, we can't take all of them. We gotta have somebody here to gather the fruit, the produce and shit like that. So he's kind of backsliding on that, but regardless of the matter, shit, Esau can't do it. This is Ezekiel 37 and 15. The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, moreover, the Son of Man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Jacob, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. So when we go out there with our sign, that's that one stick. That's a representation of that one stick. Because we are one nation. We are one people. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Why? Because we are one nation. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. Right. And that's why we carry that 12 tribes of Israel sign when we go out and we preach and we teach. And say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into one and bring them into their own land. And this is what is going to happen. We look forward to this because we are going to be brought back into our own land. Ain't gonna be no go back to Africa because we not no Africans. Go back to Mexico and all. No, our original tribes, or our tribes originally came from Israel, a stolen land. And guess what? As soon as those small hats started bombing Iran, 30,000 of them showed up in Greece. 30,000 migrants, immigrants from Israel, in a matter of weeks showed up 30,000 to Greece. And you want to talk about somebody being a fucking immigrant, a migrant, whatever the fuck. Esau Edom is the biggest immigrant on the fucking planet, okay? It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king over them all, which is King David in the kingdom. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all the dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. This is what we're looking forward to. Okay? This is Zechariah 12 and 7. And Yahweh also said, and Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first. All right. So this is why Judah had to be raised up before the Latinos and the Negroes. I mean, and the natives. It says that the glory of the house of David, because King David is from the house of Judah, just like Yahweh Shai, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. This is what you constantly say. They always trying to magnify themselves against the head tribe. And the head tribe embrace you, and then you still choose to run with Esau and all these Negritos and all. No, man. That's why you getting a foot put in your ass right now. And that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and the angel of Yahweh before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before a place. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives are Jerusalem. Okay? So this is what it's all about, baby. Understand and believe that the Lord is coming for his people. And all of that racism, all that divide shit that we have, all of that shit is going out the fucking window. This is the last tail end of it right here. Because things that are about to happen are going to make us unify again. Okay? So with that, I pray you were edified, man. There's a lot of bullshit going on out here. Just be circumspect. Pay close attention because the next phase, which is the mark of the beast, is right around the corner. And when it pops off, all of that goofy shit is going out the window because it's going to be the real deal Holyfield then. It ain't going to be no more faking funk and being cool and laid back. Reality is going to hit like a 10-ton brick. So I pray that you were edified. Till the next time I bid you. Shalom.